crank down on my end. Is it good? It says low bandwidth. I'm kind of concerned. We're on the air, though. We're on the air, boys and girls and rangers. Might get a little choppy. But anyways, gonna put this right back up here so I can see comments. Because that's the important thing. Anyways, listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. Something felt like it stabbed me. It's going great so far. Hey, Elias King. Elias. Yeah. Elias King. Hey, Tom. Hey, Jason. Oh, you got yours today too? Sweet. Yeah, mine just came in from E-Night. I don't even know where I stuck the box. Here it is. Busted out the actual camera because it's just trying to do the review, like show you guys stuff with my potato quality webcam just doesn't work out. So I'm just going to use this from now on. Hopefully the computer can keep up with it. But anyways. Hey, Godzilla. Hey, Breadman. Hi. That's a lot. Zulfikar? Hopefully I said that right. Because it has die-cast parts. Also, well, actually, I don't know if it's actually bigger. But I'm just going to open it. I don't plan on streaming for too long. Because I only have the one figure today. So it's just like, you guys get 100% focused on this one thing. But I wanted to stream it just in case if something came and broke. Then I got more things to complain about. Hey, MechaGodzilla, how's it going today? Hopefully it's going good. Sort of. Daddy needs a new laptop. The camera's fine. Camera's does 1080, 60 frames a second. My laptop, on the other hand, goes when you're doing anything that's remotely complicated. Anyways, here he is in the packaging. Oh, that sucks. I'm still waiting for the big bad one to come in because Arnez got one too. Good possibility. I've heard mixed things about the paint job. It looks pretty bland currently. It's just kind of grays all the time. You do get some extra hands. The closed ones. I don't even know if you would have thought it would give you articulated hands, but I guess not. I hear it's big. Technically, I already made a beam for him. I do want to make an updated one, though. We're going to remove him slowly. First things first. Pistons seem to be good. Oh, I don't... Why does it have a little piece of plastic just kind of hanging out next to where you got to pose the damn things? The beam would have been sweet. Yeah, it definitely needs a lot more red. It's he's a silver boy. That's for sure. Oh, that tail's nice though. It droops a little bit, nothing too bad. I gotta get around to doing some more of the beams too. Nope, that looks like it's a stationary piece for the pokey bits. Yeah, so far it doesn't seem like... Here the elbow joints are an issue. I don't know, do they really need to make an alternate head? Like, the mouth opens up wide enough in order to shoot the beam. No, I think the shiny's fine. I like his feet. You can definitely tell his feet are die cast. They're a lot colder than everything else. That'd be kind of cool if you had like the skull crawler and just like... So mine's elbows are like fused. So that's cool. It's very tight. Also, I think that's die cast there. Which is probably the predominant problem, is there's plastic next to metal, so it's got a lot more friction than it normally would. Oh, that is terrifying. Like, I'm trying to bend it, but it's like, it don't want to go. it, shoulders move fine. That's the important thing. He's kind of got the opposite problems with some of the MonsterArts, because usually, like, whenever you get these in, you're like, it's usually like things are loose, things are popping off. This guy doesn't want to give. Like, that shoulder, like, it takes a little bit of effort. Special color would be cool. Or even just doing like I guess like the photon screen version where like it's fully meant to be doing the beam. I could see them doing that because it's easily another way to get people to spend another $150 on this guy. The tail's actually really sweet. Odd that he has no articulation at the stomach. I haven't watched any reviews of this guy yet, so I wanted to go into this blind. And it's odd that you can't do a shimmy. That's what I heard. Although, to be honest, I almost just maybe want to just redo the pistons. Like, actually put like a little metal rod in there, I think would be kind of cool. I'm trying to work them slowly to see how this is supposed to work. That's pretty cool. He's, to be honest, I think leaving him in's fine. I see why it can be a problem. That's for sure, because like the way you bend the legs, it almost flexes the plastic. And the farther you go out, the more these want to pop out. So for this guy, you're almost like if you're going to be posing him or trying to play with him, quote unquote, you definitely got to have a purpose. Like you got to be dedicated to moving him around. Like you got to pay attention, look at it, and then move. And what you're moving, you kind of got to pay attention to on this guy. Because granted, like they mentioned a lot of the times, these aren't meant to be toys. So you're not just supposed to be like playing them and smashing them next to other things, of course. So I don't think what they did's bad. But I do see why it's a problem. Like if anything should have been diecast, it should have been this section here. Interchange. Do they pop apart? I know the fingers kind of do things because this has a thing going on. I wouldn't recommend it. Hey, crazy. If you glue it in, there's the possibility of gluing the piston, like the full thing, and you're gonna have even more problems. For the most part, like they were mentioning, if it's broke, I would just leave them off. Yeah, because they could have just done like a little rod with a little ball on the end of it, like almost kind of like a way, like a sewing needle is, like those sewing pins. Could have done something like that. That would have been great. But instead, they opted to make it plastic. Made one of the most important pieces of articulation on the figure plastic. Yeah, then you also wouldn't really be able to get as much posability out of it. Now, the one thing I like is just like to keep the limb realistic in how it's posing, you gotta stay within the constraints of the pistons. So when you're moving it around, you just, again, it's kind of like you just gotta pay attention to it. But yeah, if you pull this apart far enough, it will pop the piston out. I'm trying to see what somebody was talking about with the hands. Oh, I see what you mean. Like that came apart super easy once I took the thing out. So they all do that. Oh, they do. Fancy. Yeah, so you can boop, pop that part apart. Oddly complicated for something you could have just put a little hinge there and would have been good. We'll definitely say probably the least posable MonsterArts out of all of them. Like, maybe, like, you could consider Little Godzilla, but again, Little Godzilla can at least wiggle his hips. I imagine it would look pretty sweet. Like, one thing I definitely would give this thing, the sculpt of this thing is great. Like, it looks super good. Like I said, I just kind of wish I had a little bit more of the reds going on. Or even a wash would have been really nice too. Granted, in hand, it doesn't look bad. Like, even the paint job, like, it's kind of lackluster, but there is some variety. Because there is, like, darker grays in between the platings here, which is nice. And then, maybe it's just the way the lighting's hitting it, but it kind of, the way the light with whatever, how they did the coloring for the gunmetal, the metallic gray here, it definitely hits a lot differently in certain sections. Because it seems like this section is almost brighter than this, but I'm pretty sure it's all the same color. Because when you rotate it, it kind of, the coloring kind of blends together. Oh, centimeters? Whatever. I'll say it's probably a little over 6 inches tall would convert into. Right? It does have a Terminator vibe to it, that's for sure. But I did want to pop the hand off. So, you know, I got little pincy fingers. I kind of wish you had something for the screen portion on the back. To show the where the beam pops out of. Best tail? It is pretty good. It's not as terrifying as I thought it was going to be. I would almost agree with you just on the fact that no matter how you pose it, it doesn't look like there's any segmenting, which is great. I've still actually been pretty pleased with the Ultimate tail. Outside of that one stupid little tip, and I don't know why it's articulated. It's kind of trying to mess around with it a little bit more. I don't know. You could have maybe done. I could have seen him doing something. Well, no. What you would have done is you just would have had a plate in front of the joint. So it just would have had a little plate to show the two. And then the joint just would have been set behind it. So you wouldn't have seen the joint, but you can still see the actual beam. Yeah, because then you could have just made a little bit more of a slit that could just, when the mouth closed, it just kind of fell into the slit. Yeah, just like Jason was saying, it could have just been molded into it. It would have been fine. But no, I think overall I'm digging it. Like, it's still pretty sweet. I don't get the $150 sweet, but it's still pretty sweet. Like, so, ooh, look at those pistons. So at least on a high note, nothing's come flying off of this guy so far. Favorite MonsterArts in the MonsterVerse lineup? Probably the 2019, if I had to pick one. I still like that like that Godzilla figure in particular. I think just as a base figure, nothing really to complain about. But if I owned it, it would probably be the poster version, the one with the actual like atomic spines. That'd probably be the best one. And that's kind of just the general like issue with all these. Like they're sweet, but it'd be a lot sweeter with the beam. That's for certain. How many segments? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 segments? Oh, maybe not that far. So 22, 21, 20, 19, 20 segments around there. Monkey is thick though. Yeah, because right here is one solid piece from here down, and then the rest of this, each of the individual segments is its own joint. Then again, so they decided that this was enough joints for the tail to have for posability, but for reasons the Ultima, we had to have that tiny little tip that could be posable. I don't understand. Nah, it's super sweet. I'm digging this a lot. Shoulders maybe could have been a little bit more posable too. They go forward and back nice, but you don't really get much of a wiggle with them. Because I would think that's a ball joint, but that feels like a hinge. Yeah, because if you try to go forward and back with it, it just resets. So it's pretty much up and down, and then you're at the mercy of the arms going forward and back. Oh my god, most terrifying elbows in all of SH MonsterArts history. Just joints in general. It's like every section, like I feel like I gotta grab here to move the shoulders because I don't want to snap this off the peg, or off the hinge here. I gotta grab at both of the elbows because I don't want this peg to snap. I'm gonna have to sit here and try to loosen it. I gotta pay attention when I'm doing this thigh articulation. I gotta pay attention when I'm doing this knee articulation because these pistons look like they could also pop out. But nicely, I can move the feet without... Well, actually, that's a lie. So this goes forward and back. No rotation. I get some side to... Really? Oh, that's cool. A little plate shifts with it, though. Weird. Super weird. So he's nicely posable, really nicely detailed, but not as posable as, say, like the Ultima is by far above and beyond way more posable than this guy is. I'd say this looks better overall, though. Like this is 2000. This is the MechaGodzilla. Detail wise, I really don't got much to complain about. Again, even posability, like I think you'll probably still be able to get everything you want. Oh yeah, no, it's terrifying. That's why it's so hard to pose this darn thing with the elbows, is because the metal with the plastic just causes so much friction. Average? Depends on the monster. I think this is pretty common. This is probably a little more than a lot of the Godzillas. If I had to venture a guess. Because to be fair, if I wouldn't be smacking everything, I got Ultima hanging out right there on the ground, and I would say he probably has about the same amount of sections, but it's just a lot longer. Yeah, I think like, granted, he's large. Like for a MonsterArts, he's pretty big. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like if he would have been like the Ultima price at about like 120, I don't think I really would have had a complaint. Because in the grand scheme of things, the Ultima is definitely still a bigger figure than this. And a lot of that has to do with just this super chunky tail. But he's also more posable. And this is less posable. So like they saved money on joints, but they added some die cast. It could have been cheaper. It definitely could have been cheaper. Missions to terminate Dr. Serizawa. I'd watch that. It just needs to be like a human-sized MechaGodzilla just hunting down Dr. Serizawa the entire time. I do plan on it. I have to sit down and actually make them, and I just haven't really had time lately. It's like hell. I still gotta go do my taxes. I gotta do that this week before I have issues. Oh yeah, it's better. Definitely better than the Playmates one. But you're getting what you paid for though, right? Because the Playmates is $10 and serviceable. Perfectly serviceable. And to be honest, I still like this one. The screaming one? And he's only a little bigger. It's got a hair on it. And the detailing, well, granted, this is better. It still holds a lot of the detail. Like, this still isn't bad. And this was $15. This is $150 for pretty much like you got your 480 MechaGodzilla here, and you got your 1080 MonsterArts MechaGodzilla. But you get fancy little extra 10 for 15. This guy can't roar. Yeah, he's out. You can find him. Well, we got that one at Walmart. That's where that one was. We did a review. It's on the channel. Sound effects would have been cool. I don't know how, like, do it like the Triple K was. Lights would have been sweet. I feel like you could have put a battery pack in here, in the stomach, and then had some lights right there. I think would have been dope. Especially for how limited poseability this is. Like, all this is just empty space. Could have put a light in there. Then I'd be more forgiving on the lack of chest, like, no abdomen articulation, period, if it could light up. Because then I understand you got to put the material somewhere. Yeah, because then you had the eyes light up, and then had the chest light up. That would have been sweet. Like, that would have made this thing like figure of the year candidate. Well, currently, with how much I paid for it, I'm pleased. I'm not super pumped about it. We'll know more a little bit after the review, because I'll get to actually mess around with it and put it with the other monsters. Yeah, like I said, like, the looks make up for it. Like, it's a gorgeous figure. Like, having this guy in my collection, I don't feel like I need to get another monster. Like, I don't need any more MechaGodzillas. He'll do justice. We don't need the X Plus or whatever. This guy will do fine for me. But that being said, if you're on a budget or heck, you're like, maybe just don't want to spend this much, there definitely is other options. That's for sure. Heck, you can even just get the big, the 12-inch one from Playmates. That one's still sweet. Heck yeah, I want more Mezcos. Did the unboxing for those. Those guys are great. It's like everything I like. It's like what I wanted when I was a kid. It's just like solid vinyl figures that aren't gigantic and aren't that expensive. Because you get 4 guys, probably half the size of a Bandai. Also double the price. But they look way better. And you get accessories with it too, which I think is really sweet. Yeah, like, I'm definitely looking forward to more of those coming up. We need a sea monster set. Where it needs to be like the 4 of them, where you get Godzilla, you get Ebra, you get the giant condor, and maybe Mothra with the basket. Oh yeah, silicone oil, yeah, it's like the food-based lube. Definitely would, I'll probably have to grab some. Probably just see if my wife could just... Can you just kidnap some and put them in a little squeezy bottle for me? I'd appreciate it. So far, that's the big problem is the elbows. because that doesn't really want to do anything. I can rotate him fine. He'll still be able to punch. Currently, he will be able to stand on my shelf and look exactly like the Playmates. I just spent way more money on it. Yeah, because we got that one. Yeah, because you almost just, I don't know if I'd want it repackaged, but maybe just give it like extra accessories. Could get the boats. The boat would be cool. I'm trying to think of what else for Sea Monster that they could do. Pretty much like the boat, you can still do like the basket and stuff, because then if you bought that Mothra set, you could use that to work with that one. I don't know about heating them up because it's metal, so I don't think it would really help you out any. Um, More than likely, I would say the lube is probably your best bet. Just some food based lubricant, because you don't really want to use like anything motor, like automotive, or anything super heavy, because it can discolor the figure or mess with the paint. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, as I say, for the purposes of the review, I might pop these out, because then while I'm doing my photography and stuff for the end for the talking at the end of the review, I don't have to worry about breaking the thing. But then again, I want them in there because it gives it the full look. And then standing on my shelf, they could stay. It's not like it's gonna hurt anything. I'm not gonna be posing this thing all over the place. He will go on my shelf. I will have one position set up. He'll be good. And then maybe bust them out periodically when I need to do stuff. I love burgers. Burgers are fantastic. Yeah, so thankfully, mine came in good. So we're super pleased about that. It's just I see why they break. It just definitely would be kind of annoying to get one of those in, because somebody at the factory looked at that and was like, yeah, whatever, put it in the box and called it a day. Because I definitely know how that feeling with my Attack Peter figure recently, and those androids. The androids. It's kind of odd to get like two kind of duds in the same relative shipping time. Do. Yeah, Destroyer would be sweet. I'd still like on Destroyer Bylante, I think would be my favorites. King Caesar would be sweet though too. Although the way they do the beams and stuff in the Monsterverse, I don't think his eye thing would be very useful, because it's almost like a flame. So how's he gonna redirect the flame with the Zabos? I have seen those. Didn't grab them. To be honest, I was never really into like Karate Kid that much, and they're just the eyeless versions of the turtles that I already have, so I skipped them. I did see Big Bad put up the 2-packs, which have the unreleased figures part of that, which is the Shredder and the Ceratopsin. That I still kind of want to grab, even though I don't need the turtles portions, but I do want the Shredder and the Ceratopsin for sure. I have not been to Sweden. Be sweet though. I haven't shipped us out one yet. They just reached out to us because, to be honest, I was thinking about repainting it anyway, so it's save on that for me just to hang on to it and just touch it up. But I still want to complain about it. But no, it was cool on them getting a hold of me, because they already offered to swap it out. But like I said, for the most part, it's just less of a hassle for me just to keep it and just touch it up whenever I get around to it, anyways. Oh, there was a figure on MechaCon. MechaCon be sweet. Do King Kong Escapes. That'd be another one for Mezco to do. Oh, but we already did Goro, but then we could get like blue Goro. They could do different color schemes. And then there was like the serpent in the water that we could also get, which would be cool. Last time I was at Universal Studios, like this is also I think the last time I've been to Florida. was back when the original King Kong attraction was there. There was King Kong, there's Terminator, I remember, Jaws the ride. Jurassic Park was there, but we didn't get to that portion of the park, which made me sad. I got to pick one side. We were there for one day. I got to go to either Disney World or Universal, and if we went to Universal, I only got to pick one side. So of course I picked the side with Kong. They had the Twister attraction, which was all great, but I haven't gone since. I've been wanting to go down to like one of the horror nights, if I ever get to. But with gas the way it is right now, I'm not going anywhere, sadly. Yeah, it'd be sweet. Because to be honest, like you don't really need to change the paint job. It doesn't even need to be a special color version. Just make a photon screen version. Kind of just like what they do with like there's the poster, there's the like the burning version and stuff like that. They can do the same thing. Oh, yeah, I got a ton of horror movie figures. We've done a bunch of them on the channel. Just nothing really hanging out in my office. They're all mainly in the basements. The only thing really in here currently is I got the McCready thing figures. Oh yeah, got this recently. Found an Elvira at the Target Haul-a-thon that was going on. Only briefly opened her because I wanted to find out if you could actually take the top off. You can. Which made me laugh. Oh, the effects things would be sweet. Even if they just reissued them, would be dope. Yeah, that's all you gotta do is just slap some red paint on it. They make a beam, add some red, maybe give it do a wash over top of it. Another $150, pretty easy. I can almost see them upcharging it at that point. They're like, well, this figure is $150, and you get the beam, so we gotta put on an extra $20. 100% seeing that. No, everything's fine. Pistons were good. Tail stays in the position. His crotch is not the brokens. Everything seems to be working good. I definitely, like I mentioned, don't want to play around with it too much because I can see why it's going to break. But currently it's fine. Oh yeah, I would harm. Like I'm fully on board with the Mezco figures. Like they keep putting out stuff, I'll keep grabbing it. Hey Lady Draco. Yeah, G-Fest is happening. I don't know if I'm going this year because again, gas prices and stuff like that. It's a bit of a drive, and I definitely don't want to fly. It's only a 5-hour drive, but it's like a 300-mile drive for me, so it takes a bit. It takes about a 5-hour drive, and then it's also gonna probably be like a couple $100 in gas to get down there, plus another couple hundred for the hotel. And not sure if I'll be able to do that one. First MonsterArts, oddly enough, was the Biolante, which is the most expensive one. Yeah, especially if they go up. Like right now, it'd be I could probably go, but I probably wouldn't do a hotel. I probably would just drive down, chuck up the five. Like I've done it before. Drive down, drive back. So you spend good 10 hours of your day driving. But it's fun. Along the way, there's a really nice gas station that has a lot of food. We usually stop there. Oh, the Roblox stuff? I haven't personally played it. The first one was a good one. Oddly enough, I never bought it because I already had the burning and stuff. Like, it just didn't ever feel like I really needed to grab it. Regret it now. But, yeah. So, just sleep in the car. Could sleep in the car. But I'm cheap. Then I got to pay for parking. It's in Chicago. Granted, if you don't plan it, like what I could do is just drive down, go to G-Fest, drive out of Chicago, and then get a place to sleep at. Would be probably the smart thing to do, and then just finish the drive the next day. Or save money and just do it all in one shot. That was rough though. I remember like it was probably like once I got back into Michigan, I just had to listen to blaring loud music because it was like 11 o'clock at night and I didn't want to fall asleep while driving. So it's just like heavy metal and going down the road. G-Fest was fine. To be honest, it's probably definitely like cleanliness, probably one of the better ones I went to, and I think a lot of that just has to do with for a lot of conventions that I've been to, it's not as big. Like you still get like a couple thousand people there, but and it's not a super open space. But I think it's almost just like the way the setting is and stuff. Like I never really had an issue of like people smelling or feeling super claustrophobic in a way. Arnez was sick, and then he's also been working a lot. And then he's also been out of time. He's getting married, so he's been kind of doing a bunch of stuff. Hopefully get him over here to do the review for this. And we also have a sponsored video we got to do that we'll also have a giveaway, so look forward to that. Hopefully I'll get him over here today, or well, not today, but hopefully Saturday or Sunday in order to do that. Yeah, oddly enough, like the one convention I remember having that was at Youmacon in Detroit. It's an anime convention. It was at the gaming thing because they have their own gaming section. That's where you kind of got a little bit of issues. But in the actual like, convention hall, just walking around, perfectly fine. Even standing around the lines, like with everybody congested, and then like poor people with me going to like Motor City Comic Con and stuff like that, dressed in like 4-layer Jason outfit with a like double layer mask and everything, and just sweating my balls off. Oh, yeah, Avatar was sweet. Don't have anything for it though. I don't really think they made much for that movie in specific, but I'm looking forward to it. James Cameron stuff's usually pretty solid no matter what. Yeah, he was just at a concert not too long ago because he just got back in town yesterday. I was hoping to get to doing the videos yesterday, but he got in late, so didn't end up happening. Oh, I hope so too. She's a good girl. Right? Dr. Doom would suck. Like that Riddler one I'm working on, that one's gonna be a hot costume too. Because oddly enough, the one nice thing about Youmacon is that it happens it's like end of October, November, so it's usually pretty cool out. So you can get away with wearing like the bigger, heavier outfits because if you get hot, you just go outside. And there's still people like taking pictures, showing off the stuff out there too. And there's lots of access in order to get outside. And again, such a big space at the convention center that's at that you don't really ever feel crowded. That also takes place in like two of the hotels in the Kobo Center. So you do a lot of walking too in order to catch everything. But there's a maid cafe and everything. It's great. Depends on which one you like more. If you want to get the Singular Point, Rodan, or 2021, Chris. Personally, I would probably be still more excited for the Rodan because it's just a lot cheaper and comes with stuff, and I really liked Singular Point. Honestly, I like Singular Point more than 2021. But this is definitely the more impressive figure. And if you really liked 2021, you're not going to be disappointed, I feel. Unless you have the joint issues. I thought it was poorly executed. It's like the one thing in the movie that, like, why was this even here? Like, I appreciate the nod to the Godzilla universe in a way, but it was just like, hey, we have this missile. It's the Oxygen Destroyer. Haha, fandom, and then it just does literally nothing. Didn't set up any other of the movies, at least at this point. Like, eventually they might do something with Destroy, and then that could tie back in with this, which would make it better. But I think for the purposes of the movie, it does nothing. So I remember, so that was one of the things when I was watching the movie, it was just kind of Almost, it was like the one thing that kind of annoyed me. Con Hollow Earth would be sweet. I would definitely dig another Con film. Because we haven't really gotten like the second standalone Con movie. You can almost say Godzilla vs. Kong was sort of the standalone Kong movie, but Godzilla's in it, so give it a pass. But it'd be sweet because I like to see them explore the Hollow Earth more. FNAF versus Zilla. The only thing about those FNAF videos is they're frustrating to do because the Funko toys like fall apart all the time. So you're trying to do anything, it's just annoying. I don't know. I like the design. He's just really boxy. Like when you hold him in hand, he looks cool. And he has like, I see what they were doing. They were going for the shape of like the 2021. It's just he's very angular in a sense. But anyways, I think we're gonna call this good. It sounds like everybody's starting to make their way downstairs. But anyways, help us defeat this kaiju by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys that keep up with the video channel, donate. We greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.